Narinder Batra ji, shocking is the right word perhaps to describe what Pakistan team did after defeating India in the Champions Trophy semi-final yesterday.
First of all, I'd like to compliment Pakistan team on their win yesterday in the semi-finals. But what happened after the match is not acceptable. We made an official complaint to the FIH tournament director, but I'm disappointed. That decision was very weak, and I don't think he's taken any decision. He's rather tried to brush everything under the carpet. Being disappointed with that, we took a conscious decision last night, which is being ratified. We have an executive board meeting going on in Bhubaneswar today, and the decision is that we have almost 2 FIH tournaments happening in India every year till 2018, including Junior World Cup and Senior Men World Cup. The first event that is happening is in March, World League Round 2 for women, which is an Olympic qualifier. We will hold that tournament. We don't want to put FIH under any inconvenience of finding a new host for that. But after that, we are surrendering all the events, because if this is the level of FIH tournaments that they allowed this kind of gesturing, showing middle fingers and then referring to private parts in a very disgraceful way to the spectators, to media, this is not acceptable to us. So we are surrendering all the tournaments, and FIH can give these tournaments to whichever country in which this kind of gesturing and this kind of behavior is acceptable. We do not accept and tolerate this kind of behavior in India. There was no provocation from the crowd or media, and they did all kind of vulgar gestures at media and the spectators. This cannot happen, and we are not getting tournaments into India to get our public, our media or the game disgraced. This must be Pakistan's culture. This is the way they work.
And no friendly series with Pakistan. No?
Yes. Besides this, we have also taken that March, April, I think in March, Pakistan was supposed to come and play a 5-match series in India. And then India was supposed to go in March, and Pakistan was supposed to come in September, October. That will not happen until we get an unconditional apology from Pakistan for their behavior, and also a guarantee that this kind of behavior will never be repeated again, whether India is in Pakistan or Pakistan is in India.
For more details, I'm now joined by Radhika. Radhika, clearly the Hockey India chairman is miffed. He's angry the way the Pakistani players behaved. They've made obscene gestures, not only at the media, but also at the people who were there in the stadium. Do you think the Pakistan team is just trying to brush away the whole incident under the carpet?
Absolutely. If you look at a similar incident, the Asian Games final as well, India-Pakistan affairs, remember, have always been hot. The fans have always been there. But as far as the Indian team is concerned, in 2004 in Incheon, when India won the gold, the majority of the fans in the stadium were Pakistanis. And remember, the Indian team did not celebrate overtly. There was no show of disrespect towards the fan. But as far as the Pakistan team is concerned, a completely different, completely opposite behavior by the side. Obviously, the sort of apology that has been delivered by the coach of the side does not seem enough as far as Hockey India chief Narinder Batra is concerned. He's gone ahead and said that no sporting ties with Pakistan will continue. He said that he will cancel the 2 series, and also refuse to host events that are FIH accredited events in future. So obviously it masks the sporting ties which were being renewed by the 2 sides. Remember, fans always rejoice these games, but the sort of attitude that was shown by the players, it goes on to show that it will be very difficult in future for India and Pakistan to play together unless the team comes up with an unconditional apology. That is what Narinder Batra has said. At the moment, the only sort of apology that has come has been through the team coach, and he has said that the players were young and did behaved inappropriately in the heat of the game. But obviously that apology has not gone down well with either the members of the Indian squad as well as the Hockey India committee as such, and they do seem to be willing to take even further action, not just stop sporting ties, but also give up FIH events that are supposed to be held in India later on.
I'm also joined by sports editor, consulting editor, Boria Majumdar. Boria, is an unconditional apology enough? We just read out the statement of the Pakistani coach saying that the incident is just trying to be blown out of proportion. Is just apology enough to hide what the Pakistani players did in Bhubaneswar?
By suggesting that the incident is being blown out of proportion, you're actually trying to undermine the actions of your players. I mean, you're trying to undermine the sentiments of these people in India, and you're trying to sort of justify the actions of your players. If you look on your screen there, Amita, I mean, see that gesture. Do you realize, I mean, do you think a respected sports people will behave like that? Look, there are 8 people on our screen there. 5 of them are bare-bodied. Now, this is not what you want to see on the pitch of play. I mean, you don't react like that. If that is what is acceptable behavior on the part of the Pakistanis, then God help Pakistan sport for all times to come. It's as simple as that. The fact is, this was horrible behavior, distasteful, disgusting, frustrating, and boorish. Now, if you want to sort of pamper such behavior and say the incident is being blown out of proportion, then obviously you're unsportsmanlike, and what you want to pamper in your players is not something what the world expects in terms of coded sport. So, Shehnaz, the Pakistani coach, is wrong in saying what he has. I think an unconditional apology is the very basic that Hockey India has asked for. That should come very, very quickly, and if it doesn't, I think Narinder Batra is spot on by saying that India will not host any FIH event in future, because this is not what we want to see on our own soil.
Bura, how will it affect the already suffering sporting relations between India and Pakistan?
Big time. Big time. I mean, anyway, India and Pakistan sporting relations are practically at its lowest ebb. In cricket, we don't play. There is no bilateral ties between India and Pakistan for the last 5-6 years. In hockey, Pakistani players are not allowed to play in the Hockey Premier League. Pakistan-India ties do happen in hockey. I mean, at least in multinational events, India does play Pakistan. But even them, you know, if India doesn't host FIH events in future, such ties will also get affected. Question is, does Pakistan want this? At one level, they keep pleading to India to allow their players to play the Premier League, Indian Premier League, Hockey Premier League, etc., etc. They want to be included in sporting multinational competitions. This is not the way. At the end of the day, this is sport, for God's sake. Gentlemanly sport, sportsmanlike behavior, ethical conduct are far more important than a mere sporting victory. And I think the way the Pakistanis behaved yesterday flouted all norms of acceptable behavior. And if, as a result, an unconditional apology is sought for, that is the very basic they can do and put this issue to rest, rather than blowing it out of proportion by saying that this issue is being blown out of proportion in the Indian media.
I'm also joined on the phone line by Tarlochan Singh, Vice President of the Indian Olympic Association. Sir, what is your reaction on the way that Pakistani players have reacted, obscene gestures, taking their shirts off? What is your reaction on the way the Pakistani players behaved in Bhubaneswar during the Champions Trophy semi-final?
It is uncalled for totally. You see, especially since the prevalent condition between two countries, such provocations should be avoided. After all, when the sports is a field where there is more friendship, and we play games and all this, so that it's a kind of a further promoting brotherhood. So this, after defeat and victory, is always there, after all, when there is a fight. But any winning team, and especially Pakistan India when they play, we should totally avoid it, and that this was not required. It's totally not required, and I think Pakistani officials who were with them, they should have intervened immediately. But what I saw in the match, they were silent when they were doing this in the field. There were very senior manager, coaches. They should have immediately intervened.
Right, Mr. Singh, Shehnaz Sheikh, the Pakistani coach, he said that they had apologized already and the Indian media is just blowing the issue out of proportion. How valid is that?
That's what I said. The coach and the managers should have immediately moved to the field so that they should have been visible restraining them. That was not done. That is what I think what is been felt. But after all, victory is always celebrated. That I know whenever we go abroad, any team winning, actually they show their happiness. That is always there. That no denying of the fact. But since the atmosphere and the situation between our two countries, here we should be show more restraint. And here, because even the Pakistani team was jeered by the crowd. You see, after all, the people in India, we just love sports and we help each other and try to promote each other. So this was uncalled for.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Tarlochan Singh, Vice President IOA, for speaking to Headlines today.